Welcome back to the show, everybody. Today we're talking about my 2014 Surly Krampus and the rig setup I'll be taking with me on my 2022 Great Divide mountain bike route. Well, you're not gonna like this. Welcome back, everybody. Today we're talking about my 2014 Surly Krampus. I've been slowly getting this bike ready to go do the Great Divide mountain bike route. There have been some changes to my route this year just because of time. Before I get into the bike, everybody, I just want to let you know that I'm not going to be starting in Banff this year. I'm not going to be doing the Canada section. I'm only going to be doing the Great Divide mountain bike route from border to border. So from Rooseville, Montana down to Antelope Wells, New Mexico at the Mexican border. It's just not in the cards this year for me to start in Banff and do the 539 miles down to the United States. I do have a trip planned for next year already, and it probably is going to involve that 539 miles on that route. I'm not too hurt about not getting up there or not completing the entire trail. Border to border was the original Great Divide mountain bike route. I think in 2018 they extended it another 539 miles. So my trip this year is going to be about 2,200, 2,400 miles, and I think I should be able to wrap it up just over a month, really. I'm not one for trash talking or talking about, you know, I'm going to bust this thing out or anything like that. So I'll complete it when it's completed. You know, I'll finish it when I'm done. I will only be going from border to border this year. But anyway, that's just the update, guys. So I guess we'll just get into the bike. This is a 2014 Surly Krampus. I bought this bike used on Craigslist. I really haven't done any modifications to it, any upgrades that haven't been done to the bike already itself. I really think the only changes to this bike are the Thompson seat post and the Bontrager Bowie Pro carbon fork, which I think absolutely takes some weight off the bike. I weighed the bike before I put any bags on. It actually might not even had water cages on there, but the bike weighed in at 29 pounds, 14 ounces starting out. And I haven't done anything else to this bike except for a full tune-up. But I was going to go crazy. I was going to change the pedals. I was going to do a dynamo hub with a sine wave light. I was going to add some chain rings to the back as well, but I'm just going with it this year. Just start off with the rims here, guys. These are carbon Line Plus TLRs, 29ers. And I have a set of Recon Maxxis tires on there, guys. This is a tubeless setup as well. These are 2.5 inches wide. A little beefier than the Fleecer Ridge tires I had on there originally with the tan walls. There were some sweet tires, but just the shells and the soil out here have just shredded the sidewalls, and it was impossible for them to hold tubeless sealant. The tread was good and everything like that, but just the sidewalls were just leaking sealant like crazy. So I went with the Recons because they're a little less knobby, a little bit more like the Fleecer Ridge. I'm glad I made this move already with these tires. I'm glad I went to tubeless. And I went with these muck-off oil slick valve stems, which are pretty bougie, pretty sweet. Just got some Chester race face pedals on there. I got a wolf tooth on the front, 32 tooth. In the back is 1147. Bontrager hubs. And that's a salsa whammy bar on there, guys. Came stock 2014 on the Krampus. Up front, we got the Revelate Designs sweet roll, and this is the harness that goes around it as well. You don't necessarily have to get that, have to use it. It does have some storage capability there in the front. It's a pretty sweet bag. You can get a lot of stuff in there. I got my sleeping bag in there, all kinds of stuff. My coat's in there, tools, toilet paper. You'll see what's going on. Actually, no tools. Tools aren't in there. Upgraded to the Wahoo Roam. I have an old cat eye light on there, as well as I have a Swift 500 on there, little GoPro mount because you never know. Up front here I have the Revelate Designs Mountain Feedbags. I carried these with me last year, guys, on my coast-to-coast ride, 4,000 miles. I do have some snacks in there, but that's going to be all different probably. Up front near my right hand I got the Counter Assault Grizzly Spray for up north. So I plan on using this in Montana. It might be a necessity in Montana and Wyoming, but once I get down into Colorado, I'm probably gonna ditch this and ride the rest of the way without it. I'm not too scared of black bears. Basically just food, guys. Got my fork up front because I'll lose that thing. Just a pocket knife. I've been carrying that with me for quite a while. Up front here I have the Mag Tank 2000. This is the strap-on, guys, with the magnet clasp. In there I just have a mask for right now for safety. You guys might recognize this. This is the Ranger. I had this on my Trek 520. So this bag isn't specifically made for the Krampus, guys, and the one that's made specifically for the Krampus is another $200 I just didn't want to spend, so I just jammed it in there. It's a little wrinkly. It's not exactly 100% the way it should be, but that's what I'm going with. In there I got some water bottles, and there's some more water stuff in there, but I'll do a full video on how this thing's packed up. Back here I have just a camera mount kind of set up for my DJI Pocket 2 or the Insta360. I have my pot on the outside just because it can get wet, just because it saves space. I'm not really concerned with gravel getting in, mud or anything like that. I'll just wipe it out. It's not really that big of a deal for me. And on the back I have the oversized seat post and a blinker. Front here I have a Revelate Designs jerry can. Up front here hanging on the handlebar bag there, guys. It's not really designed to go there, but it just kind of fits there for me. It is designed to go here, but because of this structural support it doesn't fit. You can buy one specific for this bike, but you know, I was really just tired of spending money basically, and I'm just going with what I have. So I have the jerry can up front hanging off the salsa whammy, and I just have my tools in there. I got some lube right there, but that's basically my toolkit, and that's just where it's going to be until I'm out on the trail and I find something a little more functional. But that's basically it. Got a bell on there for the bears. A good friend of mine let me borrow this bell, which I hope to return. I hope I don't lose it out there, which was my concern. But I actually couldn't find one in REI the other day, so I'm just going with it. So thanks again. Feeling pretty good about this setup, guys. However, this is just like a completely different setup for me, a completely different bike. You know, all the gears in parallel. I don't have like the panniers to set up cameras on, and no real horizontal surfaces. I also am not going with a kickstand this year. So this trip is basically going to be just like all new for me. You know, it's called bikepacking for an obvious reason. And this route specifically, I really feel lives up to the name of bikepacking. You know, this is more like backpacking with a bike, you know, where you have to like set up, you have to think about resupply points 3 or 4 days out. You know, there's a couple 100-mile stretches with no water or anything like that. So it's going to be pretty hardcore. And it reminds me of my through hiking days, you know, back on the Appalachian Trail, you know, where you really had to plan ahead, maybe even think about some drop boxes and stuff like that. But everything should be good. I'm pretty confident with the route. And to back my confidence is the Wahoo Roam. Everybody's doing it. I feel really good about the Wahoo Roam. I was able to down the Great Divide mountain bike route directly onto it. I actually downloaded it twice just in case there's any problems. So I have the route on my Wahoo ×2, and I shouldn't get lost. Also carrying with me the Adventure Cycling Association maps. You know, like I said, I'm only going from Rooseville, Montana down to Antelope Wells, and in Colorado the Great Divide route passes just about 60 miles away from where I live. So I'm gonna take a left there, ride 60 miles back to my place, and maybe like edit some videos and get them on there for you, but also pick up the maps from Salida, Colorado down to Antelope Wells. So I'll only be taking 4 maps with me when I get back here to Colorado, dropping off those 4 and picking up 2 that'll carry me down to Mexico. That's about it, guys. That's the bike. These are the bags. I'll do a video where I take everything out and show you what's going on. I guess also I'll do a video of all the camera equipment I plan on taking. And I mean, I still have to fit it on there. I'm taking a tripod and I got a bunch of cameras. I typically roll with 6, but I think for this trip I'm gonna downsize a bit. And you know, just because of the weight factor and as well as like the space to carry that. I don't think I'll have to carry a backpack at this point, but it might become an option, and I don't know, I might be okay with doing that. As well as, let me just say before you rip me before anybody shreds me on carrying a backpack, if I carry a backpack, it is training for what I have in store for next year. So be easy on me, guys. I know the backpack's kind of weird, but be easy on me. But next year's trip is going to blow your mind, so you're going to have to stay tuned for that. And like I said, I'm not one for talking smack, because things always change, and a year from now things could be very, very different. But anyway, this is the bike, guys. Super confident with it. The only thing I'm kind of worried about is I didn't beef up any chain rings in the back, and I know I have some pretty stout climbs ahead of me. But for this year, I'm just going with what I have. I'm just going to get out there and huck it. And really looking forward to this trip, guys. I'm planning it all year, and I'm glad I was able to actually pull it off. You know, pull off what I'm able to do, which is border to border. I mean, it's a big trip, but I don't feel like it's going to be taking all that much time. So I spent like 80 days out on the road last year. I don't think this trip is going to be like that. The mileage, anyways, is half as much as I rode last year. So I think I should be able to crank this out in maybe just over a month or 40 days or so. Really looking forward to it, guys. Heading up to Montana in just a couple days. But stay tuned, everybody. There's a lot more to come on this channel, and we'll see you on the divide.